You think you slept 7 hours last night, but what if your body experienced hundreds of interruptions during those 7 hours? Tiny moments where your breathing stopped, your oxygen dropped, and your brain was jolted partially awake, and you were never consciously aware of any of them. You would wake up exhausted, unrefreshed, foggy. You might blame your age, your stress, or simply bad luck. And your doctor might agree, attributing it to the normal changes of getting older. But it would not be normal aging. It would be a specific, diagnosable, treatable medical condition. One that affects a staggering proportion of adults over 60. One that most people with it have never been told they have. It is called obstructive sleep apnea. And today I want to explain honestly and clearly what it is, why it is so dramatically underdiagnosed in seniors, what it does to your body and brain when left untreated, and what the research says about what to do about it. Let's get into it. What is sleep apnea? Obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, is a condition in which the airway repeatedly collapses or becomes blocked during sleep. When this happens, breathing pauses, sometimes for just a few seconds, sometimes for longer. The brain detects the drop in oxygen and sends an emergency signal to the body to wake up just enough to restore breathing. The airway reopens, breathing resumes, and the person falls back into sleep, often without ever becoming fully conscious. This cycle can repeat dozens or even hundreds of times each night. Studies suggest that more than 60% of men and 35% of women over age 60 exhibit at least moderate sleep apnea on sleep testing. That is a staggering proportion. And yet the overwhelming majority of older adults with sleep apnea remain undiagnosed and untreated. It is approximated that 80 to 90% of cases of sleep apnea go undiagnosed. In the United States alone, estimates suggest there are nearly 24 million cases of undiagnosed sleep apnea, far outnumbering the 6 million that have actually been identified and treated. This is not a rare condition. Sleep apnea in the United States is as common as diabetes and more common than asthma. Why it is so missed in seniors? So why does such a widespread condition go undetected in so many older adults? There are several reasons, and understanding them is important. The first is that the most well-known symptom of sleep apnea is loud snoring, accompanied by gasping or choking. Many seniors who live alone have no one to observe their sleep and report these signs. And many who do have a partner have normalized the snoring over years or decades without connecting it to a medical problem. The second reason is more subtle and more important. In older adults, the symptoms of sleep apnea might not always be obvious. Instead of excessive daytime sleepiness, signs may include persistent fatigue, fragmented sleep, cognitive issues, or even falls. These symptoms, fatigue, memory difficulties, frequent nighttime awakenings, morning headaches, are almost universally attributed to normal aging. The senior attributes them to getting older, and often so does the doctor. The condition often goes unrecognized because its symptoms, including fatigue, memory problems, and frequent nighttime awakenings, are frequently attributed to normal aging rather than a treatable medical condition. Research has shown that older adults with sleep apnea often report fewer symptoms on standard screening questionnaires despite having more severe disease. This makes active screening by healthcare providers especially important, yet it remains inconsistently done. There is also a third factor. The odds of having clinically significant sleep apnea increase threefold after age 65. The very population most at risk is the one least likely to be screened for it. What it does to your body every night. Let me explain clearly what is actually happening inside the body of someone with untreated sleep apnea during a typical night. Every time the airway collapses and breathing stops, two things happen simultaneously. First, the oxygen level in the blood drops. Second, the brain registers the threat and triggers a stress response, flooding the body with adrenaline and cortisol to force a partial awakening and restore breathing. This is why people with sleep apnea feel exhausted even after what appears to be a full night in bed. They are not getting continuous, restorative sleep. They are experiencing a fragmented night of repeated micro-awakenings, many of which they are completely unaware of, each one accompanied by a surge of stress hormones. Over time, the health consequences are serious and wide-ranging. Repeated drops in oxygen levels and blood pressure surges significantly increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, and irregular heart rhythms. Sleep apnea makes diabetes and hypertension harder to control as stress hormones interfere with blood sugar regulation and elevate blood pressure. Daytime fatigue and cognitive impairment from sleep apnea increase the risk of falls, a leading cause of injury and loss of independence in older adults. And perhaps most concerning for the long-term health of older adults is the link to cognitive decline. Sleep apnea is associated with accelerated cognitive decline and increased accumulation of Alzheimer's disease biomarkers. The repeated oxygen drops and sleep fragmentation appear to damage brain tissue over time. Research published in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine found that untreated sleep apnea is associated with lower levels of amyloid-clearing proteins in the brain, the same proteins whose accumulation is linked to Alzheimer's disease. The brain's natural overnight cleaning system, the glymphatic system we have discussed in previous videos, cannot function properly when sleep is constantly being interrupted. A 2024 Michigan medicine study found that for all adults over 50, having known or suspected sleep apnea was associated with a higher likelihood of dementia signs or diagnosis in subsequent years. These are not small theoretical risks. They represent real, measurable harm happening every night to millions of seniors who do not know they have this condition. The warning signs. Now let me share the warning signs that research identifies as most important for seniors and their families to be aware of. The classic signs include loud snoring with gasping or choking sounds and witnessed pauses in breathing during sleep, often noticed by a partner. If anyone has ever told you that you stop breathing in your sleep, this is something that requires medical evaluation without delay. But in seniors, the signs are often subtler. Here is what to watch for. Persistent fatigue that does not improve with more sleep. If you sleep 7, 8, or even 9 hours and still wake up feeling unrefreshed and exhausted throughout the day, this is not normal aging. It is a symptom. Frequent nighttime urination. This is widely attributed to the bladder or to medications. But breathing interruptions during sleep trigger hormonal changes that increase urine production. Many cases of what seniors attribute to a bladder problem are actually driven by sleep apnea, morning headaches that occur regularly upon waking. These can indicate that oxygen levels were repeatedly dropping during the night. Memory problems, difficulty concentrating, or a feeling of mental fog during the day. Individuals who reported difficulty remembering, periods of confusion, difficulty concentrating, or decision-making problems have been found to have significantly higher rates of sleep apnea symptoms in nationally representative study data. Mood changes, increased irritability, low mood, or withdrawal that have no obvious explanation. Cognitive and mood changes, including worsening memory problems, irritability, or personality shifts that family members notice, are among the recognized warning signs of sleep apnea in older adults. If you or someone you love is experiencing several of these symptoms, particularly the combination of unrefreshing sleep, daytime fatigue, and cognitive changes, please speak with a doctor and specifically ask about sleep apnea screening, diagnosis, and treatment. The good news, and this is genuinely good news, is that sleep apnea is diagnosable and treatable. And treatment makes a real, measurable difference. Diagnosis typically involves a sleep study, which can now often be done at home using a portable monitoring device, making it more accessible than it used to be. The sleep study measures breathing patterns, oxygen levels, and sleep interruptions throughout the night. The most established treatment is CPAP therapy, continuous positive airway pressure, which delivers a gentle, continuous stream of air through a mask worn during sleep, keeping the airway open throughout the night. The benefits of CPAP therapy for seniors include better blood pressure control and fewer cardiovascular events. The cognitive benefits are particularly meaningful. A randomized study of adults with sleep apnea averaging 71 years of age found that just 3 months of CPAP therapy improved short-term memory, working memory, selective attention, and executive functions. A study using data from the National Health and Aging Trends Study, linked with Medicare claims, found that CPAP treatment was associated with slower cognitive decline over a 10-year follow-up period in older adults with sleep apnea. For those who cannot tolerate CPAP, oral appliances like custom mandibular advancement devices provide an effective alternative for mild to moderate cases and can rival CPAP in treatment outcomes for elderly patients. I want to be honest with you. Not everyone with sleep apnea will experience dramatic improvement overnight. Results vary depending on the severity of the condition. how long it has been untreated, and individual factors. But the evidence consistently shows that treatment is far better than no treatment. Let me close with this. Sleep apnea is not a minor inconvenience. In older adults, it is a significant medical condition, with documented links to cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, diabetes, falls, and reduced quality of life. And the majority of seniors who have it have never been told. If you wake up tired every morning despite sleeping, if you have morning headaches, if your memory feels less sharp than it used to, if you have been told you snore heavily, if you wake repeatedly through the night, please speak with your doctor and ask specifically about sleep apnea. Do not accept fatigue and poor sleep as inevitable parts of aging without first ruling out a condition that is both common and treatable. Everything shared today is sourced from peer-reviewed research published in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine, the journal Neurology, Science Direct, and Clinical Guidance published in 2026 by SleepQuest and the Clinical Advisor. No exaggeration. Honest science. Please subscribe for more honest senior health information. Take care of yourself, and good night. Subscribe for more honest senior health. No exaggeration, just real science. This is part of our Sleep Problems After 60 series. Make sure you watch the other videos in this series for more effective tips and solutions to improve your sleep. For more information on different health conditions, visit our website, www.healthabulous.com.